Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. Some RGN bracket stage action of the North American Pro Series. We got Enemy versus SKDC today. I am Laser Jesus. Alongside me is the Bachness Monster, Mark Bach Wilson. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, and this should actually be a great match that we have lined up for you guys tonight. It's going to be interesting to see SKDC playing without their star rifler in Ruru, but we are live in the pistol round. This is map number 1. This is SKDC's pick, hence Enemy starting on the CT side. Kusa's going to spot one out in lower B tunnels. He's going to have to back off with that USP, and Nade's going to rain in from Cat, do a little bit of damage to Slemmy. By a little bit, I do mean a lot, down to 44 HP. Oh, Kusa pushes in aggressively, somehow gets the headshot, whiffing on the man in front of him, but gets the kill in lower dark. But he is dropped down to 2 HP. So he's going to have to back off of mid double doors, and it looks like it is going to be a mid execution here as these players for SKDC are stacked up outside the double doors.
Yeah, Kusa there. One of those frags that you just put the smile on your face getting in Counter-Strike, aiming at somebody else and then headshotting the guy behind him. Unfortunate for Slemmy, but SKDC still deciding what they want to do here. They actually rush a player into CT spawn and then hit Catwalk. This is something new, Mark.
This is something I've seen from the likes of other teams before, where they kind of smoke off mid to B and then they push through it and go towards A. And it's working out a little bit right now. They are on the platform with the bomb in hand, but Anomaly is going to take down the defender of the planter. That's now Ape in the site alone with the Glock. He does have armor and a couple of lit CTs around him. He takes down the first one, but Ocean dropped in the meantime, so now it's a 1 versus 3. He's got Ryu right around the corner to contend with, as well as Uber and Anomaly. They're just jumping around, making a whole lot of distractions, buying time. He's down to 23 seconds. He's going to have to stick the plant eventually, and he is finally taking damage here from the CTs, but still alive. How is this happening?
What is this?
Good Lord. 1 HP, 1 HP, 9 HP, a combination of 11. I mean, that was one bullet could have killed each and every one of those players, but finally Enemy takes it. So even though it was a 1 versus 3, he still almost made it happen. I just don't know. I don't know.
That was ridiculous. I mean, Statutory Ape needs to spend more time at the arcade because, like, he was playing whack-a-mole right there. Enemy gave him so many opportunities just jumping up and down that it created a lot of 1 versus 1s for Ape, but he just couldn't find the heads. And 11 HP on 3 players. Yeah, that's crazy. And no bomb plant as well for Ape, which probably would have wanted to get. Enemy swift on the rotations. Now SKDC on the force buy. Of course, it's obligatory at this point with how strong the pistols are. Now making their way up Catwalk. They do have one player outside of long. Going to sell a bit of a fake. Actually smoke off the long cross. Insinuating to Enemy that SKDC is going to be sending more than one player long. But it is only Slemmy. And on the opposite side of the smoke on each team, 4 versus 2 here on the Catwalk. Good nade coming up from ZNF. Lots of damage already done before SKDC try to enter in. Slemmy way too long on the flank. His teammates can't get anything done on the Catwalk. And now just Slemmy here. Great anti-eco from Enemy or anti-force spy. And yeah, SKDC, I like their plan, but if you don't get any openers, you can't get anything done.
What I liked from an Enemy there was the fact that they went for the FAMAS buy versus the SMGs. A lot of times we've seen with the change in SMGs, some time ago, a lot of teams go for 5 SMGs or maybe 4 in a scout or 4 or 3 in a rifle. But when a team loses and doesn't get the bomb plant, a lot of times you'll see them go for that pistol armor buy in the second round because they want to try and catch the team off guard. They're going to be like, oh, it's an easy eco round victory. We'll get the SMGs. We'll build up money. But the SMG obviously is not as good against armor. So I liked that Enemy went for the risk and bought the rifles, and it did pay off in the long run. And a lot of that was just grenade damage done by Enemy. Looks like it's going to be a mid to B players. 3 players are funneling towards the B bomb site. ZNF is going to open things up. Gets 1, gets 2. Kusta is there as well, and these little SMGs working out wonderfully here in round number 3. Uber and Ryu combined for the last 2 frags of the round. Enemy looking pretty solid so far on their CT side, but obviously this will be the first buy coming in from SKDC. But look how limited it's going to be because of that force buy and the lack of bomb plants. We're already going to see basically a force buy here. Slemmy with the Galil light grenades on a lot of these players. Not exactly the best buy coming into round 4.
Yeah, your choice is either AK and head armor or and the lack of nades, or you go with the FAMAS and buy up as much utility as you can. So lacking a lot of utility here is SKDC, but we see a long forfeiture for the time being from Enemy here, allowing SKDC to work up, get a player into pit, and now their choice, once you get that player into pit for free, you can work up Catwalk with the rest of your players. This creates a vice on the A bomb site, forcing Enemy to hold Catwalk. So if they can't hold Catwalk here, they're in trouble because there's nowhere else for them to fall back to.
And Ryu sitting on the other side of the smoke. He could be a big player for his team. Oh, he's going to give away his position with the pop flash. And if he had a nade and just dropped it Xbox, it could have done so much damage that they were just stacked up waiting for that mid to B play, setting up the smokes and still sitting in mid. It seems like SKDC kind of telegraphs their plays so far in this gun round. They're stacking up towards mid very early on with a lot of presence. It's very easy to read if you're a disciplined team such as Enemy. Pop Flash is going to rain in on Cat, and that's going to drop right. And Anomaly, a great play from SKDC there. Now it's Kusta who's got to come up big. He's over on the Goose right now with the AWP. Pop Flash is around the bend. He's going to catch one off guard. He's got one right around the corner. Oh, is he going to get a kill? Oh, I can't even speak as Kusta goes down to Elsa. Now that's going to be the bomb site for SKDC. Enemy now on the retake.
And Uber here coming up does find the first one through a bad pop flash. Oh, your inability to speak's coming to me. Through a
got tongue-tied.
A Bob pop flash. All right. Let me restart here. So Enemy does drop their first round. The retake could have been more successful had that Bob pop flash came through better from Uber. But SKDC, even though it's kind of easy to read what they're doing, Enemy knows where SKDC is at that point because they forfeited long entirely and they're so wary about it. There's only one place they can be. I mean, they had their players spotting long, so they're either going to go mid, cat, or B. And having a bunch of players mid, a lot of teams do that on their default, given it's so easy to fall back from catwalk and head to mid or fake the mid to B, come up catwalk. But Enemy with a decent hold there. Now SKDC opening up more passively. They don't have pressure on mid just yet, waiting for any long push to come through. And it may happen as Anomaly is sitting on the other side of double. Door is here at long, and he's getting flushed out by the Molotov. Actually is safe in a smoke here. And this is a force buy from Enemy. It took me a long time to realize it. Anomaly with the timing onto Ape, and that's really unfortunate for Ape because he just donated a gun based upon timing.
Kusta sitting on the platform right now. He's got Stewie coming around catbox. I think he's spotting him through the crack. You can see he's using that crack in the box. He doesn't necessarily have a scoped gun, but he doesn't need one. Uber jump scouting right now on jump up, and ooh, he is going to drop this Stewie. Excellent timing there on the shot. But we still have one on A-ramp to contend with. That's Kusta. He's only got a USP, no armor, but he does have a flashbang. He might be able to buy some time here. Pop Flash is going to rain out from SKDC, and oh, this is actually going to be a cat to B play. So Stewie dropping down into CT spawn. That's going to force the one player in the back of B site to fight this entire push here, and he's got the worst possible gun for it. He goes down to Slemmy, and now it's going to be a 3 versus 4. They have one in CT spawn to contend with. That's actually Stewie. He gets blinded by Kusta. And Kusta comes up with the frag, gets dropped immediately by Else, but they're going to find themselves a scout in CT spawn. Ryu's probably going to drop that in favor of the M4. Anomaly has an AK, so not a bad eco round here. It was a bit of a force-up. Ooh, Anomaly spots one out in Upper Dark, not able to find the frag. But they're going to retreat with these rifles. They took down 2, and they're going to let SKDC keep the AWP in the hands of Slemmy. Naturally, they want to try and get one in the hands of Kusta if possible, but it's not worth it to force the issue right now. Give SKDC that second round. Use these rifles to help build up the team economy.
I wouldn't have minded them going for exits here, given that they will have enough to buy. But, of course, if Ryu died, then wouldn't have full utility. So, not a bad round by either team here. Enemy with a strange buy. They bought up just enough to have a good buy the next round, so not entirely dedicating with their economy. And, yeah, ZNF there trying to hold B with 17 HP and a scout. Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
So SKDC here, getting 2 rounds in a row, and this last round, they just went really slowly, allowed Enemy to try to go for some pushes and such, and Enemy actually getting the entry frag. So will this alter SKD setup, as they are now going against a fully stocked and loaded Enemy side? Doesn't look like it, though, so just waiting for Enemy to go for any sort of opening pushes, and eventually go back to their mid-aggression. And still have Ape here working into long. So this looks to be SKDC's plan. They try to send Ape solo up long and work that catwalk. And if they commit onto A, then they'll have Ape work up slowly. But now deviating from that, it seems to me, as they're splitting up 2-2 here. 2 at long, 2 at catwalk. So eventually it's just going to be an A split here.
Yeah, Kusta has to be very careful. He does have support in the form of Anomaly and Pit, but he has to shut down these players coming around long because he is very vulnerable. If they get up long, he can't escape. He will be stuck there with that AWP. So really, he has to come up with these cat kills right now. He's got Stewie right around the corner. It's going to be easy pickings for him. And that's such a strong position because you really can't do anything to nade him out of that spot. There's going to be flashes raining out of long right now. It's going to cue Anomaly that there's players pushing up. Oh, Kusta's going to get blindsided by Ocean, as Anomaly let them up too far on long. Anomaly's actually going to get 2 before he goes down, but Slemmy found one as well, or actually that was Else on Cat. Ryu sitting on ramp right now. He's going to get to elevator completely undetected. They have no idea that he's there. Oh,
Nice
what
shot.
a shot by Slemmy. And all of a sudden, this round turns on its head, and it's going to be a 1 versus 2. But it is Uber, a star rifler right now for the side of Enemy. He's low on HP, down to 35, but he does have a kit. Else, very low on HP, down to 6. Slemmy going to be in pit with that AWP, and he might be able to back up his teammate, and he does. So it's going to be SKDC picking up their 3rd round. And I'm a little bit concerned with what I'm seeing from Enemy thus far. Maybe not so prepared for SKDC, potentially underestimating their opponent, letting them pull a lot of pop flashes and kind of giving them too much map control early on, and as a result, it's punishing them in these buy rounds.
And Slemmy with that shot, pretty much winning the round for his team there in the end. Nice flick it was, but yeah, Enemy was looking good that round until they weren't ready for the second part of the SKDC take. I didn't like what SKDC was doing because they had their player go up catwalk. He died, then it was a 4 versus 5. And then they sent their long take in afterwards. It worked out because they found the frag onto Kusa, and Anomaly was in the pit. I'm not sure if the call was late or if Kusa just wanted that frag on catwalk, if he wanted to sit on it. I'm not too sure, but the hole in the defense was found by SKDC. Good awareness by them. And now this round, SKDC busting the B with 3 players. Have a player anchoring down at mid, trying to catch the flank here. Kusa does find 1 frag, but I think that's the only frag they're going to be getting this round. Trying to take into B with the remaining 2 players. Trying to get a gun, salvage whatever they can. But the only salvaging this round has been done by Kusta. So SKDC taking 4 rounds in a row. Wait a minute. What just happened to the B-bomb site? I don't know how Uber did that. I wasn't even looking.
Yeah. Just a little bit of a flick on that CC-75, and the recoil gods were with him. And he managed to pull it off. There's a reason why Uber sits at 99.2 ADR and 0.948 FPR. That is crazy performance from him for the side of Enemy. And he's definitely a young up-and-comer, one to watch out for. And you can see it right there. Just with a pistol alone, he dispatches of 2 terrorists making their way out of double doors with ease. So it's not that Enemy doesn't have the ability to take down the players of SKDC. It just seems like things are a little bit sloppy, but something I've seen from Enemy time and time again, they need to warm up. And by warm up, I mean Kusta needs to just go ham, and it takes him a few rounds before he really starts to build momentum. And once he does, I don't think that Slemmy can respond with a proper off setup to take him down. So Kusta is definitely the X factor right now for the side of Enemy.
Yeah, we'll see how that op duel comes out when... Yeah, I do agree with what you're saying, though, because Kusa can seem a little cold at the beginning, but once he heats up, might be a problem for SKDC. This round, though, SKDC might be dropping it after winning 4 in a row, as they have been narrowed down to just 3 players here. Enemy continuing their aggression, despite being up in frags, and there it is. Uber gives a frag over to Else, quickly responded, though, by ZNF. I'm not sure where ZNF could have... Must have been a spam, I'm not too sure. Or maybe he just assisted him through the crack of the doors, but 2-on-4 now. I didn't necessarily like the play by Uber, but CNF got the trade, so no big harm done. Now Stewie2K trying to come out mid. It did decent economic damage, or Enemy did do decent economic damage to SKDC in the previous round, so this may or may not prompt a save as Stewie2K gets another frag onto ZNF, and now this has allowed them to make their way into the B bomb site, and they may be able to do this. Enemy pretty far away here. I'm surprised they let them get the bomb down. Of course, the smoke up in CT spawn would halt their assault for the time being, but they do have a nice retake underway. Anomaly coming up from the tunnels. Kusta gets Slemmy. Slemmy trying to bring the numbers down of SKDC before the take happened, or of Enemy, and makes it a 1 versus 3, and you can't really fault him for going for that.
No, not at all. And you know what? What Enemy did there, that slow retake, giving them the bomb site, it was all about playing it as a team. A lot of times you'll see players, they try to kind of take control of the game by themselves. Enemy is very disciplined when it comes down to pure team play. So what they were doing there was they were just waiting for the positions to be proper, waiting for their teammate to get into B tunnels. Then they come up from B double doors. They know it's a 2 versus 3. They have really limited angles to hold. I thought it was great team play from Enemy, and it's something I've seen from them time and time again. And I think that's one thing that definitely separates them from the pack when it comes to teams in the Premier League. It's just solid team play and in-game leading work done by Ryu.
Yeah, such a nice guy, too. Anybody on the forums
He's a
knows
sweetheart.
his dash Ryu at the end of everything he says. What's a weird thing, but here comes SKDC trying to work up the catwalk a bit. Eventually going to go ahead and split onto long. This may be the same strat where they attempted where they send the single player up catwalk, try to get some intelligence, and then hit long afterwards. Is Enemy going to lose to the same thing they did last time by the miscommunication? I don't think so. But now, dropping into spawn, we got a good A-split underway here. Kusta starts us off with a frag. What the flank quickly by Stewie2K, dropping the player into spawn. Great work done by SKDC as they split onto this A-bomb site. And Kusta, that's the second time he's been caught.
Yeah, he keeps relying on his teammate to kind of fend off his blind side, and it's not happening. They need to talk to Sandra Bullock, get her in here, maybe recruit some big guy from the inner city, a la the Blindside movie, and this is a terrible joke, so I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way in esports. Maybe.
Maybe it might. I mean, there's the defensive tackle or defensive end for the Oakland Raiders who's streaming on Twitch, Ricky Lump. Everyone knows who he is at this point. Maybe he could play and help protect that blindside for Kusa.
From the UFC.
Oh my God!
What the lineup? That just sucks for Enemy.
But either way, Kusa has been caught off guard so many times, and he keeps assuming his teammates are watching him, but they're playing passive angles, and then Kusta gets shot in the side of the head, and then the guy who's maybe sitting in pit like the one round it was Anomaly, he's all by himself. He has no backup. They know where he is, so the round falls apart. They need to be a little more aggressive when holding that blindside angle for their AWPer, because he is so dominant if you let him get the kills. Obviously, he's not going to be much value to the team if he's dead. So I think I need to see a little bit more from the support players around Kusta to try and solidify the AWP presence for the CT side.
And we do see a eco round coming up from Enemy here, but that previous round, the setup of Enemy, it was really difficult for them to defend Kusa in that position because they stacked 2 players long and then they had their third player in the site not peeking. So with him not peeking and that jump into spawn, very difficult to tell. And SKDC then smoking off into spawn as well. It's so hard to cover Kusta in that position because you expect the enemies from catwalk to come from catwalk and not from your spawn. That's Enemy minor adjustment, but I love the way SKDC is abusing that. It's the second time they've caught Kusta out in that fashion. So now Enemy this round only getting 1 kill. Anomaly here, 21 HP. He has found himself an AK, but I don't think it's on SKDC's agenda to allow him to keep this weapon. Because now they have a decent amount of economy to go for this. Maybe with Els and Ocean. It's risky business here. If 2 of their players drop, their economy won't be that well, but they do get the frag anyway, so now 6-4 for SKDC. Enemy now with enough to buy. They have to buy in this situation. Can't allow SKDC to get too many more rounds with this economy that they have. So if I'm SKDC, the setup from Enemy has been pretty stagnant. I mean, they've sent their triple long setup, or 2 players close long, the other player way back, either rail or in the back of the site. So do SKDC keep abusing A or switch it up and hit towards the B bomb site? That may be the case, as they do have 4 of their members working up towards B. Enemy again going with their 3 long setup. So they're just trying to fix it and not trying to change it.
Yeah, right now it seems like the setup from Enemy is a little bit stale, and maybe they're having trouble finding an answer, and SKDC has just found the solution to penetrating their defense. It's going to be statutory. Ape opening up the round over on the B bomb site, taking down Uber, but ZNF quickly responds with a kill in mid. Now he's getting mollied out window. He's actually going to take about 20 damage from that Molotov, despite the fact that he was just on the cusp. He's going to catch a nade here as well. He has dropped very low now, 29 HP. And Kusta took a nade early in the round, took him down to 43, so a lot of damage dealt, and they haven't even begun the execution. There's Ape again through the door, finding the kill on ZNF. They are finally deciding it's going to be a save as they lose Anomaly, but it's just lights out play from SKDC. And like we were saying, Enemy just seems like they need to change things and maybe not making that decision early enough. And now SKDC is controlling the pace, and more importantly, they're controlling the money. Kusta can't get an AWP when they're going for buys. There's FAMAS on the board, light grenades, no kits, body armor instead of head armor, which obviously against the AK not a big deal, but still, it just shows that they don't have the economy built up to really stop what SKDC is doing.
And I like the strats by SKDC here. Good job stringing them together in a way that it's difficult to read for Enemy, because the previous 2 gun rounds that they lost, they lost Kusta both times, one time from the long. the player from Pit not being able to defend him. Second time, the player from Cat not being able to defend him from Spawn. And then the round thereafter on the gun round, they just bust into the B-bomb site. And Enemy has constantly been playing 3-1-1. So why would Enemy adjust to a 2-1-2 when A has been the site they're losing? I'm just loving the reads right now by SKDC.
And it seems like, I mean, maybe they've done their homework a little bit. I've watched Enemy play Dust 2 a lot. They're very good at the map. But maybe it is that their CT side just has kind of a solid, this is what we do on CT side strategy. And as a result, SKDC just watched a game or two and realized what needed to be done, and they found the perfect counter strats. Because prior to this, Enemy was pretty solid on Dust 2. But Enemy always starts cold. It's like, it's their thing. Enemy loves overtime, and they start cold. It's something that I've seen them do a million times. So I don't think SKDC is necessarily out of the woods, even though they're doubled up on rounds right now. Any round, this could turn on its head. Enemy could bring it back right here even, and this could be an 8-7 half. So it's just SKDC needing to keep their foot on the pedal and continue to keep Enemy guessing, because right now it's been very dynamic play from SKDC.
Yeah, now continuing it on the next gun round. They haven't done the same thing for the past 4 gun rounds, and now splitting onto the B-bomb site. ZNF tries to switch it up and go for an AWP. Now this isn't the best weapon for this situation. He's about to have numerous people in his face, and there it is. You can't spray 2 people down at once with the AWP, and they do get the trade. Heavily favoring SKDC now, and they have an anchor down at middle as well. Might even get a triple here. Slemmy, 1-2. Doesn't know Kusta's in spawn. Now he does. Kusta, not long for the world, and does lose his AWP as well as the round. 4 people alive. SKDC, multiple people in the 5-figure mark. And I just cannot highlight enough SKDC's T side right now. I just highlighted what they did the past 3 gun rounds, and now they try something different. They don't go out the main entry. Well, they do with a couple of players, but the majority force was coming out middle, and it's just numerous looks that Enemy have to deal with. Now, we've stated that Enemy can start cold, and SKDC's T side is looking incredibly dynamic. So it might be better for Enemy to be heading into the T side, especially for Kusta's sake, because he's been getting shut down. So maybe he'll have better success, working this AWP on the T side. We'll see.
I really wasn't necessarily expecting much from the side of SKDC, given that they did just lose Ruru, who was a very talented fragger for the team. And he was really the one that kind of spearheaded a lot of their attacks. Not necessarily the entry fragger, but he was the guy they relied on to make big plays. But it seems like they're not missing him at all, as Ape has kind of filled in the role of one of the other players, and then you see Else and Slemmy kind of stepping things up, as well as Stewie. And it's just been really good team play from SKDC, keeping the side of Enemy guessing. It's going to be a 4 versus 3, but I still give the nod to SKDC as they are in great position. Ocean's going to line up too, takes the Molly death. But it doesn't matter. It's going to be SKDC. Even though it came down to a 1v1, they're going to pick up another round. At this point, they don't care about money. You can see Slummy's actually on 16K, as is Ape. 10K on Ocean. I mean, this is the story of the game, is the money control on SKDC has crippled whatever CT side that Enemy could put out on the board. There's been very limited rounds for Kus to get the open play, and when he has, he's been blindsided because I think light grenades, it's just like that. Oh yeah, look at the autos. This is a MM strategy for sure. But, that's been why Enemy has really struggled early on.
Now heading in towards B and meeting Uber. Just letting him have it with the famous early triple kill. And now SKDC's tried this before. They bust into B with, this time they did it way quicker. But they had a lot of confidence in these 3 players, because if they get in, then they have these 2 anchors elsewhere that could just cut off the rotates. That was the idea for SKDC, but not donating around to Enemy, just trying to switch up the pace and execute really fast. Doesn't work out. However, SKDC already in double digits. They're going to be quite happy with this. So now pistol round's going to determine a lot, obviously. Wait a minute, though. I was already counting SKDC out of this round. Stewie 2K and Ape might have some other ideas. And now they're heading back into lower, where the 3rd player of Enemy is rotating back towards middle. And if he goes for the B crunch from spawn, this will allow SKDC to get out mid, potentially to A for free. But Anomaly, smart man that he is, sitting in spawn, not going for the hard flank. And that is going to... Oh, my. Nice shot by Anomaly in the end, but that's going to be the half 5-10. We do have a couple of giveaways I want to mention to you guys. The Enermax bundle, that's going to be given away at the end of our Pro Series for the North American side. It's a case, cooling system, couple of fans, a whole bunch of stuff. You can check it out from the link provided in chat. And you just got to retweet the specific tweet mentioned on our channel or our Twitter, as well as Enemax's Twitter. And then retweet the specific tweet, and you are in for that. It's the biggest giveaway I believe we've ever done. If you haven't checked out Enemax yet, go ahead and check out their site, specifically the pink case, the Ostrog that I so desperately want, but I'm not going to get. Also, they're giving away a flip knife field-tested Boreal Forest, and I believe that will be given away in a couple of days. But again, it's just a tweet that you got to find, retweet it, follow us and them at RGN TV, as well as Enemax. It's EnemyGG, correct?
The knife is actually through Luminosity.
No. Luminosity's giving away...
Oh, that's the different knife. That's a different knife. You're correct. You're right. So the knife, yes.
I'll just chain plug right now. Fuck. Luminosity's giving away the field-tested Crimson Web. And Luminosity...
But that's at the end of everything. That's the full tournament giveaway. Whereas this field-tested flip knife, that is... I think it's soon, right? This is the next 2 nights. So if you really want a knife and you don't have one yet, all you got to do is get on Twitter, retweet the tweet, follow. It's a very simple giveaway. And if you don't win, who cares? You still followed us. You get all the information about when we're going live, when we're streaming, etc.
Yeah, thanks for the assist, Mark. But let's get back into the match. Enemy here. If they don't win pistol, Enemy's not out of this. But if they don't win pistol, they are pretty much out of this.
Now, that last round could be a big catapult for Enemy. I know that it was not necessarily a great half for them, but at the same time, the way that the half ended, with SKDC playing a little overconfident and feeding a lot of kills to a star player like Uber, could definitely build his confidence a little bit. At least it's going to get him hyped. You know, after coming off of watching a LAN, you see just how big those hype plays can make a player, like they can change a player's attitude to an entire game. So even though it was 5-10, Uber could be like, all pumped up now, I got this triple kill, they ran right into my FAMAS, I just sprayed him down, it felt great, and now we could see a different Enemy. But this pistol round is huge, because if they lose this pistol round, in my opinion, they lose the game.
Else through the smoke, unfortunate for Kusa, now looking for more. SKDC picking him apart, rushing long as well as taking control of mid, and now the bomb is in their clutches as well, slamming with a one-tap. There's some more. Ryu goes down as well. Now only Uber, the young gun of Enemy. It's just unfortunate for Enemy. They went for control of both middle and long, and they just lost both duels. Really hard to hold off from pushing USPs if you don't have the right setup. Uber does get one, though, but trades off way too much of his HP. Does collect a fallen CT weapon, so... Oh, never mind. Actually, there's the Glock. I don't fancy his chances here. Just got to find headshots and then more instantly. Can't take any damage, and SKDC going to be moving up 11-5. If Enemy do not win this force buy, that's pretty much the match.
Keep in mind, though, I mean, this is SKDC's map pick. So obviously SKDC saw something in the way Enemy plays Dust 2, and they felt very confident. These teams did play each other earlier in the season, and it was Enemy kind of walking all over SKDC. It was a 16-4 on Inferno. Different map altogether, different strategies. Obviously, you know, you have different strengths for each team. But nonetheless, it shows that Enemy has some very strong talent on some other maps, and you know, maybe it's just going to be SKDC actually taking their map, which kind of is different for us. We often watch a team pick a map and lose it. It seems like it happens more often than they take it. I don't know if you agree.
Sorry, I totally spaced out. Forgot your question.
I was saying that it seems like when we have teams pick a map, often they lose it to their opponent. I feel like we see teams pick like Dust 2 and then they lose to their opponent, then they take their opponent's pick. Nonetheless, though, it is going to be a B play right now as the 4 players from Enemy. Actually, it's 3 in B, 1 coming up in mid. That's going to be Kusta, who's holding the flank. Oh, and he's just tapping away at Elz's back. Not able to find a kill, gives his position away, and that is unfortunate as he was in solid position. Probably should have waited just a little while longer, but he didn't want to leave his teammates out to dry. So it's going to be a 2 versus 3 hold right now. Ape coming in from Upper Dark. Flashbane's in from Window. That's going to force Uber right into the cubby in the back of sight. Now they are getting bombarded. Ryu with the Tech 9. Not really a whole lot he can do. Still, though, a pretty good round there from Enemy. Getting the 3 kills, getting the bomb plant, putting some money in their pockets. I'm not sure if they armor bot. I think they did, so it's going to obviously hurt their economy a little bit. But getting that bomb down and getting as many frags as they did, definitely going to help moving into the buy round.
So now another question for them. They got a decent amount of frags. They could still put SKDC on the save if they win this round, or do they save up this round, give SKDC at 13th mark and then go for the gun thereafter. It looks like that is their plan. Buying up a few pistols here and there. But yeah, sorry, I totally spaced out to your question. Yeah, we do see that a lot. Teams winning each other's map choice, like the exception to what should be a trend. You know, teams winning their own map choice. But this is Counter-Strike, and this is Dust 2 after all. The enemy here, this is not looking good for them. Going to be giving SKDC up to the 13th round before they can get guns on the board. Then they have to just keep SKDC on the save constantly to have a good shot. They don't get any frags this round. It's going to be difficult to put SKDC on the save. They do get one as they try to put it into B, but that looks to be about it. Ryu, though, gets their second. Stewie 2K quite low. Ryu, with some fancy footwork, might be able to get some more frags here, but with the Tech 9 coming out B main, with a player watching in the back of Platt, this is just not looking good for Ryu here. If he had an AK, I might believe.
He's only one bullet from death, though. I mean, if he can hit Stewie once, 3 HP, it's not necessarily going to make it a winnable round, but it'll at least allow him a little bit of wiggle room to maybe get into the B bomb site. But he's got players all over the place to contend with, and oh my gosh, he's going to eat 31 damage through the doors, which is the equivalent of about 17 hits from the P90, because those doors are just so ridiculous. He's going to finally peek, and he does drop, so that is SKDC now picking up yet another round. The deficit is growing here, but it is going to be the first buy from the side of Enemy. Now, the lack of plant there is going to prevent them from being able to buy up a true op, so they're going to go for an AK instead on Kusta, which is the right call. I don't think a glass cannon makes much sense, knowing that there's 5 rifles on the board for SKDC. And not necessarily that they knew, but
it's a good guess.
It's a good guess. Yeah, I mean, based on what's been happening, there's no reason for them to force up. They know that Enemy is not going to be able to afford the op, so there's no sense in forcing the hand. And you can see just how confident they are with the rifle as they open up the round yet again with frags.
This is horrible for Enemy. SKDC, I love the decision by them because they have, I lied, they don't have a good enough economy to buy after this if they were to lose, but they go for the aggression regardless. And you have two options on first gun round. Either you play standard and play more of a default setup and play default versus default, and try to catch a rush, try to feel each other out on your gun round, or on your first gun round with the defaults, or you go for a crazy push, which is kind of unexpected on the first gun round if your economy is in a weakened state. But SKDC do it anyways, find success, and now Enemy have 2 rounds left. They lose both of them. Now with a worse off buy, Enemy this time doesn't have to meet any early aggression. Hold that thought, else is rushing up mid, and he might just end this round. Enemy have no idea that he's on the flank. Kusta does, though. And now Enemy, they are in this round at a 5-on-3, but the score is 14-5, and that cannot be understated.
Yes, but this is the same team that came down from a 14-1. So never count them out. They're definitely the comeback kings. They're the kind of team you can never get, too confident on, because they will find their way back into a game. They will scratch and claw. It will be close rounds, but they will make it happen. So it's not necessarily SKDC's game just yet. I mean, they do have economic control, but they are definitely looking like they're going to lose this round. It's down to Ocean only. Ape did find one in mid. Ocean's actually going to get a kill on Ryu, but Bomb is making his way up towards the A platform right now, and Ocean over in mid, coming up catwalk. He's got a 1 versus 3. He's going to try and toss the molly, stop the bomb plant just a little bit too late, and now pretty much impossible retake for him. He's got the M4, he's tapping away, but there's just so many players to shoot at. Set up on long is Uber, and you can see Ocean's just going to decide to walk away from this one, keep the M4 in hand, and save it for another day.
And I don't even think he should go for exits here, but he is worried about some players already cutting him off from long. And he's actually sticking around. He's trying to hurt the economy of Enemy, and I don't really like this decision from Ocean. I mean, their economy isn't the best. They may force up after it. Does get the kill anyways, but I think his weapon's worth a little more to him at this point, because Enemy is going to get AKs across the board next time anyways. Both economies, not SKDC's, I thought they'd be a little lower, so not a bad decision by Ocean after all. I'm a big noob. Now SKDC, one more buy here before they're going to have to save, and if Enemy don't win this one, this is the round that could potentially give Enemy their entrance back into this match. They can win this one without losing too many players, put SKDC on the save, and attempt to keep them there. We may see one of those crazy comebacks. Now, spreading out, not going for anything quickly, trying to push up long is Slemmy, though. Meets Anomaly's AK, so advantage EnemyGG here, and SKDC is really favoring the early round aggression.
Yeah, you know, something that's worked really well for SKDC throughout this whole game has basically been not playing Counter-Strike the way you're supposed to play it, getting very aggressive and finding early frags. But if Enemy can start bringing this back, it's going to force SKDC to play a lot more passively, and I think that kind of gameplay plays into Enemy's strong points, and that's going to be that team play setup. They're going to be down to a 2 versus 4 already, and you can see it's Elson CT spawn, and Ape over at the A bomb site as well. This is a save situation, in my opinion, for SKDC. You can see they're already setting up for it. I don't think they have any room to go for the bomb defusal here. And like in that last round when we had Ocean left and he was going for the exits, I mean, if you looked at his money, he had about $5,200 worth of equipment on him that he would have to rebuy if he went down. He only had $5,500 on him after the round ended. That's with the kill he got at the end. So it would have basically been a wipe. He would have washed his economy down to 0. So I definitely think even though he got the kill, it was a little bit risky of play. And now it's SKDC maybe in a little bit of an awkward situation with their economy, despite the fact that they're up by such a large deficit. This could be the way that Enemy get back into this game. Control the money, control the pace, and they could make it a 16-14 even. I mean, I've seen crazier comebacks before.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if we see that between these two teams. And I was just about to highlight that SKDC has been doing a decent enough job keeping Enemy's economy low to keep the op out of Kusta's hands, but now has found its way into his hands. Might see the op duel at mid, Kusta versus Ape, and not going to see it just yet. So Kusta does spot another player falling back towards B, so right now Enemy has the intel that only one is at B. Kusta still posted up at mid in a late smoke. Interesting from SKDC. I'm not sure what kind of mind games they're playing here. They're going to boost the player up onto the close box in spawn after throwing that mid smoke late. This might insinuate to Enemy that B is weaker than it actually is. But this player boosted up on the box at mid. If they go for a mid to B is a problem. Now Enemy think they have the right read that the B bomb site is weak, but SKDC have a ton of players quickly able to rotate and 2 players into B. I'm not sure Enemy is making the right call here. Now they're thinking about falling back. And this might play to SKDC's hands more because they have this player inside of CT spawn, and a smoke will be irrelevant to him as he can just jump up on top of the box and deliver some frags through the mid to B smoke. So Enemy might make the wrong decision here, and that looks to be the case. This position of L's is probably going to destroy Enemy's split.
Right now it looks like it's Enemy trying to play for information. They have no idea what SKDC is doing at this point. They haven't seen a single player. They're going to go on mid, and they're going to find a trade in the form of Ocean. Stewie finds a headshot, though, and oh, look at this! ZNF dropping through the smoke on Cat. He drops the smoke into CT, and then goes for the pick. He comes up with it. Now it's only Slemmy left here in a 1 versus 3. He's going to get the kill on ZNF and CT spawn. It's going to make it a 1 versus 2. Probably trying to find that AWP if possible, but still, difficult situation here. And if you're SKDC, I don't know if you want him going for this. I'd rather see him fall back, grab that op, save it.
It's Slemmy. He's going for it.
It looks like he is going to go for it. Yeah, he's sticking it, and I don't know why he would do that in that situation. The money is really not that good on the side of SKDC. It would have made so much more sense for him to fall back and grab that op and try to use that as a way to open up a few kills in the round. Instead,
I don't know.
They're on an eco now.
Two. Yeah, they'll be on eco anyways. Though. It's a 1-on-2. Their money is they're gonna all have to save this round anyways. I like Slemmy going for that in this situation. It's a 1-on-2. The man's been known to do some crazy stuff before. Sure, they might have had a better chance with the gun next round, but I like Slemmy going for it the American way. 1 versus whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm going in.
Rambo.
So, SKDC here are dropping another round, and Enemy now, they're making this more believable. SKDC, the problem that last round, Els, just when Enemy was taken out mid, he dropped off of his boost position, and then they didn't have enough time to reset it up. That was the moment Enemy executed, and it created the chaos situation where SKDC wasn't able to trade off accordingly. Now SKDC go for a bit of a mid stack, a mid rush, and Uber promptly shuts that down. Now Ape 2 HP, not going to get any kills likely, so Enemy moving up to 9-14. SKDC, after losing 4 in a row, is going to have a full buy here. And I didn't think SKDC really did anything wrong aside from Els dropping off of his boost spot a little early. If he would have held that, it was probably going to be Enemy's or SKDC's round. So I don't think SKDC really needs to adjust too much. Maybe stop their aggression and try to hold enemy by being passively. But as you highlighted, if they do that, they're going to let enemy open up with their setups. And I'm not sure what the right way to go is right now.
Yeah, basically, if they don't control the tempo, they let enemy do everything that enemy has been doing all season, which is solid executions, great strategies. They take sites with ease because of their nade knowledge. I've seen a great take from them where they take cat, and they basically don't have an engagement at all because they smoke CT cross, they smoke, cat box, they smoke everything, and they just walk out on the site and can't do anything about it. So the aggression has been what's been feeding SKDC on both their CT and T side, preventing enemy from getting into the positions they feel so comfortable playing in. They are going to open up with a kill, but that's going to be traded out immediately, so it's going to take it back to a 4 versus 4 right now. Slemmy and Anomaly both down, and those are both the top fraggers for each side. Definitely a little bit more of a gap for Anomaly between him and the next person up compared to Slemmy, but still, they're going to be missing that rifler if it comes to a late round here. Uber has a man right around the corner in mid. It's going to be Else pushing up close to the door, and we saw the blender that these players ran into in mid last round. SKDC actually implemented the same round that they used before in the buy in that last pistol, which was basically stacking up 3 players mid. It's an interesting strategy to say the least. Oh, Uber's going to walk right into a flashbang, and that's going to be 2 for Else as well. Kusta trying to jump peek over and spot the man cat, but he is very low on HP. That molly just narrowly missing him. If he got pegged by that molly, it might have even been enough to take him down. But it's going to be a 1 or a 2 versus 4. Hard to even spot the HP on Kusta right now.
Right, I was just going to say.
It's kind of an unwinnable situation. They just need to kill the clock and keep these guns, and hopefully they can force overtime here. But they're going to have to win 6 in a row if that is the case.
And if ZNF, it might have been doable if ZNF had this position like 30 seconds ago. He is going to go down to Ape anyways. Ape, nice ears. Able to spot out ZNF before he peeks. Kusta narrowly makes it out of there with his AWP. So the only silver lining here for enemy is that they got 2 kills, and that if they win this next round, then going to put SKDC on the save. But that's the only silver lining. If they don't win these next 6 rounds, it is going to be SKDC taking it. And the second map is Dust 2, or no, Mirage, is it not?
Twice in a row, wow.
That would be my nightmare. That would be like
That's horrifying.
my purgatory or something. Just Dust 2 every single map. It's like League of Legends. It's the only map we play.
Oh god.
What is
like that
map?
would be? That's why I don't like the double best of 3 format. I'm a big fan of the best of 5 with a 1 map advantage because we see such a larger map pool, a more diverse CS:GO. A lot of times you have the double best of 3, and if it ever gets to that second best of 3, you're seeing the same maps play out. So, just a little side note about personal preference when it comes down to tournament finals. Thrilled to see a lot of team or organizations going for the best of 5. Nonetheless, though, we are in round number 25 right now. 15-9 is the scoreline. SKDC looking very solid, but enemy has mounted a bit of a comeback, and they're now in territory to potentially bring it all the way back. They're going to lose a player early, though. Anomaly got Slemmy, but traded out immediately by Ape. It's going to weaken that defense over on the A bomb site right now. They do have 1 close. That's actually Else right under the cat wall, and they're going to fall back into CT spawn. Still, though, on long is Ape, and he's got this AK, and wow, what a headshot from Ape. Somehow finds the line of sight, gets 2! I'm not sure how that just happened. Through the smoke, finds 2 frags. That shuts the round down for enemy. It's all down to Ryu here, 1 versus 3. He's gonna get the first one, but there's 2 more players to contend with, and I just don't know if he's got it in the tank here. He actually gets the second. Could it happen? Oh, a nice flashbang from Ape, shutting it down by himself in this final round. The 4K to close it out, 16-9. Is going to be your score.